Happy Ohio winter weekend. Headed out for a shop day today. We've got three things that we've got on our to-want-to-do list. One, windy. Let me get over here. One is some options for our Starlink, maybe up on the roof or something that we can get it away and get some elevation away from the bushes, some sort of extra mounting for that. Another thing that we're thinking about doing, we've actually already purchased a shower awning room to go off the side and be permanently mounted, where we upgrade away from that tent. And then another thing that I'm thinking about doing is a streamline, another bumper swing or another hitch swing. And really what I want to get out of that is a bike rack. So camp table, propane mount, and bike rack for when we're carrying potentially e-bikes or just our mountain bikes with us. So I think what I'm going to start with first is that shower room. I've set it. Here we go. For that permanently mounted shower room, we decided to go ahead and go with the Overland Vehicle Systems shower room system, and that was for a few factors. For one, we're familiar with OVS. It's the 270 awning that's already on Camp Bedrock, and we've been really pretty pleased with it thus far, so we wanted to at least give it a consideration. But the real factors and the things that pushed us over the edge for the decision were based on the expenses, how expensive that it was. The weight had a huge factor, especially for us. We have a lot of weight that we've started to build with our build on the driver's side of the vehicle. It's where the gas tank is on the Rams. And we've noticed that when we go to level the rear of the truck with the airbags that we have on them, that it takes a little bit more air on that driver's side to bring it up. So we wanted to keep something that was as light as possible, meanwhile maintaining a decent size. Some of them are down to 3 foot by 3 foot cubes. This particular one measured out at, I believe, 42 inches. I'll put the dimensions for the square of the shower room in somewhere here so you can read that. So anyway, that's what we went ahead and went with. We purchased this from Amazon at normal purchase price. We shopped around a little bit for them, and in the end, with our Prime, with free shipping, although it seems to take an eternity anymore, it's still free. We had this really for just a few $100. I'll also include the actual price that we paid to get it to our door, and this is the way that it came to us to our door. So I'll go ahead and unbox it here. I don't expect a tremendous amount of magic or anything special to go along with this unboxing. I sort of expect to pull it out of here and find it really ready to bolt straight up to the truck. But nonetheless, if you were interested, this is what you can expect to receive from Amazon or wherever you would go to purchase this thing. So tape on the outsides. Yeah, this is basically this is sort of what I expected to receive. Some foam to protect the corners. It's all pretty tidied up in here. Feels like I do have some brackets. I want to investigate those. Foam on this end. Foam on this end. If I kick this box aside for us here, it's also in a plastic bag, open on one end, so no big deal to get it out of here. Fast forward a bit. Okay, there you go. This is exactly, honestly, what I expected to get out of it. I don't want to go too far here because this could probably open up a whole can of worms, but really pretty simple bag. Very similar fabric. Feels like it may actually be just a wee bit lighter than the awning, and that makes sense. It is different. It has sort of a reflective privacy screen here. That's another thing I didn't mention that you want to consider if you're looking at these. Some of them had reviews that with light or sun behind them, that it was pretty easy to see a silhouette or to offer silhouetting. The other thing I really liked about this was the versatility for me to either make my own brackets, which I'm probably going to have to do with this large aluminum extrusion. This, while it did end up being larger, is one of the lighter options. There isn't much to this unit at all. And it'll be nice to not have to set up the other. We have a King Camp, something like that, where we've been popping up a tent. And it's sometimes, literally, we just prefer streaking and taking a shower when we're out remote versus put ourselves in any room. But then when we're in someplace with some other people, it'll be nice to not have to set that whole room up to have privacy. Now this feels like these are just stakes or maybe some brackets. The directions or some information probably said what it came with. I don't read. That's Alana's job when we go to buy things, is to read the fine print on what we're getting. So let's look here. Yeah. sure enough, we've got 1, 2, 3, probably 4. 4 stakes, makes sense, 4 corners on the unit. And then I think that's hardware in there. And then some pretty simple L brackets. I don't think that I will be able to use those, but it is nice. I think for a lot of people, you could probably have some clamps and go ahead and integrate these into if you have a standard rack system for it. You can sort of see here what that's going to end up looking like once it's installed. Hopefully everything goes pretty easy. Let me show you exactly where it's going to go. So we have decided to put the shower right here on the driver's side, basically above the fuel tank and where we keep our max tracks. And the way I intend to mount it is I have just used these stud mounts for this track, and I've made these plates that kind of span. You can see the gas jugs on here real well, and I've done the same kind of thing for the max tracks. I don't think I have to reinvent the wheel very much here, although with the angle of the ATO Atlas top and their toppers, I am going to have to put a little bit of a bend in it before it goes up so that we've got straight arms up there. That was a concern, still is a little bit if I'm honest, because I was worried about this being floppy in the wind, just being flat steel that kind of extends up unsupported, but the brackets it came with are also just bent flat steel, so it makes me a little more optimistic. Also from the side, I'm going to try to mount it basically from here as far forward as I can between those 2 tracks, and that way we still want to be able to open this door. That's where we keep a lot of our shower supplies, give us some additional privacy in transition, but I also want to keep it away. This is the exhaust for our heater, and if like right now I'm running battery warmers and stuff, so I've got it hooked up here in the shop. I just want to keep it away from those connectors. So I don't think these brackets are very tricky. Basically holes for mounting, holes for the top to it, the little bend, bingo botto, here we go. All right, well, there is my 2 brackets mocked up and in place. I still have the holes that I need to put up for the shower awning itself. This is sort of on there. Really happy with the bend that I just lucked out on. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but they're almost perfectly vertical. Now, if these look a little different to you compared to the aluminums, because I ended up going with stainless for these bars, not really for anything other than I was really so worried about the wobble up here that I thought having stainless instead of the aluminum, because this aluminum that I typically get, if I were to bend it, it fatigues in those unless I heat it up, and I just don't really have a good torch set up, and I didn't want to worry about it, so the stainless helped with that. So I'm going to get the shower up here now, and I did a time lapse of making all these, but you get the point. And what I used to do that bend is no plug here, but also a plug. TMR Tools, the machete. This has got a couple dowel pins in here and enables you to bend the flat stock really well. Canadian product, eh? Really cool tool. Very happy with that. A little pricey, but it helps me make bends like, zoom in, whoop, makes bends like that really pretty good. So that's going okay. I'm gonna mock up the awning now, figure out those holes, and the next time I see you, either I'll have gotten my time lapse figured out this time, or I'm just gonna show you the awning mounted right now. Well, there it is, all installed. Honestly, a very simple job. Even with the stainless, it's a little, you gotta take your time with drilling it. Still, you're talking about 8 holes there, really 8 holes in all, 4 and 4. The bolts go up super easy, no big deal. About the biggest pain in the butt is using that extrusion, the bolts go into the back of it like a slot. Now that gives you a lot of adjustability, but then because our topper is like right there really close, it's a real pain in the keister to get those bolts started, and really like a ratcheting wrench versus a ratchet becomes very beneficial for getting it installed. I'm very happy with it. I was worried about it being floppy. You may be able to see I'm actually shaking the whole truck versus moving that, so no concerns there. What I thought I'd do now is go in completely ignorant. Other than watching some YouTube videos, I really don't know how this is going to go. So let's see what it's like when we say, hey, we want to take a shower now. So let's see, Velcro strap, very much like our awning. Let me find the other one in here. So there's a buckle in here. The fabric for the shower drops out, beating the truck up all the way down. I guess I ought to get better about that. Arm 1 comes out, and arm 2 comes out. Got a little clip there. Still connected on ourselves. Well, how about that? That's a 42 by 42 shower room, and I've got to be honest, other than throwing a couple of stakes in here for the breeze, that seems like I'm pretty happy with everything about that. One thing I noticed here, the zipper's here for us close to the truck. I don't know if the fabric can be reoriented. I think I may actually prefer it off of this line. I don't know. So I'll take some other B-roll so you can check this out, but I will say just with that alone, that's much easier for us to be able to put up and take down versus setting up that other room. Kind of a first world problem. The other unit was just fine for us, but to be able to just fold this out really quickly, even honestly for a roadside restroom, we've got kind of a pop-up toilet and we use Biffy bags in those emergency situations on the road. This is much easier privacy than being hunched over in the back or trying to scurry off into the woods and dig a hole quick enough. So all the things you don't want to talk about that are very real when you're out on the road and in the back country. So here comes some B-roll on this, but shower done. Tell us what you think. Tell us whether you like the pop-up showers or whether you're entertaining something like this. Again, to reiterate a bit, I forget what I said in the intro. We went with this one because A, it was the type of awning that we already had in brand, so the fabric colors would match. Very first world consideration. It's also one of the lighter tents awning shower rooms, but also gave us one of the larger footprints, the 42 by 42 inch square, some of which will be lost for us because the truck comes out a little bit, so it's going to encroach there just a bit on us. Also the privacy fabric. You've seen the reflective B-roll just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and show some more of it. There you go. See ya soon. Bye-bye.